Breaking news, ladies and gentlemen. A myth has been broken and history has been recorded in Nhia foot as the strikers of Muelong defeated Basel FC of Moabi yesterday. I'm talking about Basel FC, who won the trophy last year when they defeated the same strikers of Muelong last year in a very tight match. It was held for over 30 years that Muelong will never take the trophy or never win the trophy in as far as Nhia football is concerned because of something that happened many years ago. I want to give you a brief story of what happened many years ago that made the Nhia people to hold a myth that the Muelong people will never win the trophy. I don't know what has happened. Perhaps we could say that the ancestors of Nhia and God Almighty must have forgiven the Muelong people to allow them to lift that trophy this year. And it happened that so many years ago, one of the Muelong players picked up the trophy, or well, let me say, seized the trophy from the Nhia people as a final game was being played so many years ago, about more than 30 years ago. And they were playing, or they were confronted with Basel FC, whom they played yesterday when that game ended. I'm talking about a game that took place about 30 years ago. The game ended in a way that the Muelong people were not satisfied with the performance of the referee, and one of theirs picked up or seized the trophy and ran away with it. Ladies and gentlemen, it's a very funny but a critical story, and that has remained in Nhia for quite some time now, for a very long period of time, and people have been talking about it, and they thought that this is why the Muelong people were unable to lift the trophy in Nhia for so many years, and people still believe that until the Muelong people come to Nhia people to tell them or to apologize, to show remorse of what happened so many years ago, that they will never lift the trophy. This is the myth that was held by the Nhia people for over 30 years now. Ladies and gentlemen, but yesterday, a history has been written as that myth was broken, as we saw the Muelong people lift that trophy. And we could hear from the voice of the main commentator, Espoir Kango of Mwasum, shouting it on the top of his voice that Muelong has done it. History has been written in Nhia foot. And it's very important, ladies and gentlemen, for us to know that this has happened at a time when a woman of Nhia, or a daughter of Nhia, donated this trophy. We're talking about Princess Ebudewane of Moabi Kingdom. We're talking about the daughter of King George Enongene of Moabi. And of course, we know that it has happened at a time when this trophy was dedicated to her younger brother, who died many years ago as well. He was a legend as far as football in Nhia is concerned. We're talking about Elvis Ewanekang, and this trophy was dedicated to his memorial. Ladies and gentlemen, this is what has made this tournament a very special and unique one. I don't know whether we will have something like this again. People were thinking that Moabi, Basel FC of Moabi, will record a kind of history that maybe that Santos FC of Mbat recorded. I'm talking about picking up the trophy 13 consecutive times, ladies and gentlemen. And yesterday, that was stopped, and then it happened that the strikers of Muelong won the trophy, and celebration was echoed at all angles of Muelong. And I learned this morning as the president of Nhia foot, who happens to come from Muelong, I'm talking about Mr. Mbong Felix, told me this morning that the chief of Muelong, Mr. Esu, has announced that nobody should go home. Should go anywhere. They should stay at home and continue celebration. This is what football brings. Football brings joy. It brings unity. It puts smiles on people's face. And let me say it again, that anybody who promotes football is a special person in our society, in the world, ladies and gentlemen. And it should be noted that Princess Ebudewane comes from Moabi that was defeated yesterday, and we cannot forget that she donated 500,000 francs again last year when Chief Esong donated 1 million francs for the male category. She did 500,000 francs for the female category, ladies and gentlemen. And she comes from Moabi that was defeated yesterday. And then her mother happens to come from Muelong that won the trophy yesterday. Ladies and gentlemen, this is what makes it very, very special. This woman is a special woman as far as Nhia people or Nhia is concerned. She is special, ladies and gentlemen, and we know her story. She has done a lot of wonderful things. Let me remind you again that she championed the renovation of Bangem District Hospital when she came across some dilapidating images or some disgusting images that came from the structure, that we saw that was circulating on social media. We saw the very bad images of Bangem Hospital, and then she decided to create, I think with some other people, to create a WhatsApp group and to start including people into that WhatsApp group, and they had to plan to renew that or to renovate that hospital that was finally eventually renovated. And go to see Bangem Hospital now and you will not recognize it again. This woman I'm talking about, Princess Ebudewane, has visited or has delegated people to visit the less privileged and the needy people in our society, and she is still doing it. And during this course of this tournament, she organized a training for women and girls. That training went through, and that training was coordinated by Mbong Metuge de Moabi. And of course, I think yesterday the woman or the women who showed excellence in that training were awarded prizes to start something so that they could continue with their craft work that they know. This is how wonderful this woman is, Princess Ebudewane. God bless you, and here people are celebrating you. And it should be noted as well that for female category, the Mbat women, I'm talking about the Santos women, who were also out of the competition for a good number of years when they became angry of the injustice of the referee some years ago, and they stopped playing the Nhia football, came back this year after the committee of Nhia Foot approached them and brought them back into the competition, and they have come back to win the trophy. Remember that it was 1 million trophy that was divided into two, to have 500,000 for the male category and 500,000 for the female category, donated by Princess Ebudewane. So this is what has made this year's edition a very special one, and it has a lot of history that it has given us to write about Nhia Foot. Ladies and gentlemen, the Muelong people coming to break the myth to lift that trophy after about 30 years. But women coming back after having been out of the competition for a good number of years as well, coming back to lift the trophy yesterday. This makes this year's edition a very special one. Ladies and gentlemen, let's hear a report of what happened yesterday. Or let's have some of the moments of yesterday. Let's see how celebration was being echoed there after that match. Eswakango. And that is how we had it, ladies and gentlemen, yesterday at Nhia Foot and Nhia Unity Stadium. And we take this opportunity once again to say thank you, Princess Ebudewane. And on behalf of Princess Ebudewane, I want to say thanks to everyone who supported this year's competition. Thanks to the Nhia Foot committee, home-based committee, and the diaspora committee that is headed by President Mbong Felix, and everybody who contributed in this year's to see that this year's competition became very successful, as we have recorded. I'm talking about people like Prof. Okolo, who was constantly reporting the happenings or the match scores and the updates, giving us the updates of the match. Thanks to Matuga Mbong, who coordinated the women, and his delegation as well that was put in place, as they coordinated the women during the training. And thanks to everyone who supported their villages, especially the chiefs, and the support they gave to their villages to make sure they performed in a very wonderful way. And until next year, we look forward. Ciao. Peace to Nhia people. My name is Edmond Lime. It was a very wonderful one. And I was happy to be part of this. And I'm happy to have been part of this competition. God bless you.